Hey, this is Jack Kelly with Blind Bytes, abbreviated podcast. Give you bursts of information that you need to know to be successful in your career. Today, I think we've all kind of been there. You go on an interview, another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interviews. You think you nailed it. You think you got the job, and then you don't get the offer. And you're like, what happened? Why didn't I get the job offer? Well, you're in the right place. Your buddy Jack Kelly you in. So here's the deal. Placing people for like 20 plus years, a lot of times you find out it's not fair. And a lot of times they don't really tell you the true reason why you didn't get that job offer. So let me just start with some, no particular order, right? No particular order. But let's say number one, managers sometimes are intimidated by it. You like to think if you're a manager, right, you're going to hire the best person, the most well-suited person for the job, right? Makes sense. But if your boss isn't too confident in him or herself and they find somebody who's like this rock star, they may take a pass because they feel, wow, they'll think to themselves, but they're not going to say it out loud. They're going to think this person's going to eclipse me. If we go into a meeting or a conference, they're going to turn to that other person because that person's frankly better than I am. So because they, instead of saying, hey, I'd rather get someone who's better than me to bring everybody up, and I can even learn from that person. Nope, I don't want that competition. Thank you, but no thank you. Number two, what happens sometimes is companies place ads, but they don't really want to hire. It's out there to just appease the employees. So let's say someone left and they didn't get replaced. They start worrying, what's going on here? How come we didn't replace George? What's up? Is something wrong? And everyone gets nervous. So you put out an ad and you make it look like you're hiring. You actually do some interviews, but you really don't want to hire. So it's not real. They're not really trying hard to do it. Number three, if you're kind of a mid to senior level executive, the odds are you're going to go through 3 to 10 interviews over the course of a month, 3 months, longer sometimes, especially nowadays. And it's decision by consensus, meaning throughout the interview process, you meet with, let's say, just 6 people. You have to have all 6 people agree that they collectively like this candidate and feel that person should get the offer. Now, it sounds simple, but think about it. Think about your own personal life. How easy is it? Let's first look at your family. How easy is it to decide, if you have young kids, what movie to watch and where to go out to eat, right? Everyone wants a different movie. Everyone wants to go somewhere different. You end up, come on, we've all been in this, right? And no one can agree on anything and nothing gets done. It doesn't really work out that well when you have everybody weighing in. So when you're in this office setting and you're meeting these people, you have to have 6, 7 people all agree. And what are the odds of that? Because come on, you have 5, 6, 7 people. There's always going to be that one. Well, I like this about the person, but I'm not really crazy about that. So let's keep looking. Easy for that person to say because they're tangential to it. That's another thing that happens. You have all these people you meet with, and a lot of them have no skin in the game. And why? Because the senior level people who are hiring lack confidence. So they feel if I get 5, 6, 7, 8 people all agreeing and the candidate joins the company, but as a dud, the big boss doesn't have to take the blame because the big boss say, well, it wasn't me. We had 5, 6, 7 people interview this person. They all love this person. So don't look at me. They all agreed. So they feel that's a way to justify it and deflect instead of taking ownership. You really don't need 5, 6, 7 people, but they do that because they're afraid to make a decision. And by having more people involved, it takes longer. So they feel the longer it takes, well, finally we'll get somebody. Or the longer it gets, we'll find someone better. Let it keep going. Because maybe if we look some more, we'll find someone cheaper and somebody who's more desperate. And maybe they're even better. So it just goes on forever. Then number 4, let's be real. There's prejudices, biases, discrimination in the workplace. And it's everywhere. Like it could be where you went to school. You know what I mean? We talk about racial, sex, gender, what have you. But I think it's everything. How you talk, what companies you work for beforehand. So people have these different biases that just mentally just block you out and say, nah, not this person. Number 5, people just can't make decisions. They're scared. They're afraid to pull the trigger. They're afraid if they make a decision, it's the wrong decision. So what they do is they don't make a decision and they just keep letting it go on. Or what ends up happening is that the person who is really good starts tapping out, and then they get desperate and they just hire like anybody just to get it done. It's so funny in a way. You like to think it's just so much more professional, particularly in top tier investment banks and tech companies, whatever. But it just boils down just the human being aspect of it, being afraid, not having the confidence, wanting to just keep meeting people after meeting people because you're scared to make the wrong decision. It's so crazy how this works. But here's what I would suggest you do. If you're stuck in that vortex, meaning the interviews are going on forever, you don't see an end in sight, but you really want the job. You think that this is right up your alley. Here's what you do. You say in the interview to the right person, decision maker, and you say to that person, hey, so-and-so, I really enjoyed interviewing here, like the company, your missions. I actually use your products and services, and they're great. I know people who work in the organization. They've told me just wonderful things about it. I read up on what you do, what goes on there, and I love it. If you were to offer me the role, I would gladly and happily accept. And the reason I'm saying it that way is this. For a hiring manager who's scared to make a decision, they're also scared to make an offer and the person says, thanks, no thanks. Because when you make an offer, it's not so easy. You have to go up the chain of command. You have to go to HR, get something approved, get maybe some of the senior people involved in the whole process. They have to sign off. So you expend a lot of political capital. If you want to hire, you have to go through all these hoops, the bureaucracy to get the buy-in to be able to hire Bob. So if you go through all this time, all this effort, negotiate total compensation, stock, pay, benefits, that takes a lot of time and energy. And then Bob says, thanks, but no thanks. Then everyone's going to say, what happened? You just wasted 6, 7, 8 people's times. It took weeks. We had to put this offer together. Wow, you suck as a hiring manager. I don't know if we could trust you to do this again. Maybe you're not the right person for it. So now to go back to what I said before, if a person says, hey, I gladly accept it. I love this job. You have a better chance of getting it because now the hiring manager is going to feel, okay, you know what? I wasn't sure what to do, but Jack seems really serious that he wants it. I could go to HR and go to the senior higher ups and say, hey, Jack has told me point blank, if we give him the offer, at this price point, at this compensation, he'll accept it. Now, is there 100% guarantee? No, but there's a better likelihood. So by doing, that little hack of saying, hey, if the offer were to be extended to me at, such and such salary and so forth, I'll take it. Because that makes their life easier. It takes away all the stress, all the anxiety. What you may have thought with the interview process is like best person wins, the best person gets the job. Not so simple. Prejudices, biases, managers being afraid of competition from who they hire, getting 5, 6, 7 people to agree. This is what goes on behind the scenes. So when you're going through the interview cycle, you kind of know what's happening. And each time you interview, you got to sell that person on you because all you need is one person in that chain who says, nah, you're out. I hope this helps, gives you some kind of insights. If you always were kind of wondering, why did I get this job? I thought I was a sure thing for it. I don't get it. And then think about it. I bet you people watching this, there's going to be at least a few people who say, I didn't get the offer and I saw on LinkedIn who got it and I'm way better than this person. What? I don't get it. Now you understand. The person didn't want to find someone who's the best. They wanted to find somebody who's going to be a little below where the manager doesn't have to worry. I hope this helps. I don't know if minds are blown with this or everyone's like, duh, Jack, I know it. But the whole idea for these blind bites is to get an inside scoop. What's happening? What's going on? What you could do to improve your career, your job, move forward with your life, succeed, and be happy in what you're doing. And by arming you with all this information, you can make better decisions and which will lead to a successful career. So it's Jack Kelly. And as always, thank you for watching. Tell your friends, your family, your dog, your cats, your fish to watch us.
That's it for The Blind Ambition. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a 5-star rating and a review. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.